I am scared. I have nobody, and I'm writing this because I need someone to comfort me, to prove to me, explain to me that this cannot be real. I am a pure and pragmatic and concrete person, never believed in any kind of paranormal stuff. Always been skeptical, but now, I know it's stupid. I know that there is no such thing as afterlife, that we are all just matter. All that we experience, feel, remember, think, and believe, just chemical reactions. So please, help me to get out from this irrational situation of mine before I get crazy. I lost my girlfriend 4 months ago. I cannot describe the pain and desperation I went through. It's a subjective feeling that you cannot transmit to others, neither with words nor with anything else. No empathy can achieve such strength. She was supposed to be my one future. She was my only friend. I buried myself into my work and passion. I'm a computer scientist. I work with AI with a focus of neural networks, NLP, and artificial life. The more I coded, the more I worked, the less I felt, the less I cried. But no matter how hard I tried, there were moments in my day where my brain was free from tasks and routines, and there I felt it again, seemingly as strong as at the beginning. I tried to rationalize, to convince myself that it was just a matter of time, and that I would start to get used to it. To this. It's true, that's how we work, how living organisms work, but I felt disgusted by these thoughts. Some days ago, I casually ended up on an article about text generation using recurrent neural networks. I blame alcohol more than despair for the idea that followed. I started coding using info and tutorials found here and there on the web. I wanted only one thing, to talk with her again. Not only I already had a good understanding of theory and technical details behind such methodology, but also practical examples from around the web suggested me that from a practical point of view, it works. I'm not foolish. I didn't neglect the most important part, the data. I needed data for the training, but that was not a problem, because another project of mine was a Facebook scraper, a tool capable of downloading all the data I wanted regarding a specific person. I already had the entire backup of my conversations with her, thousands of messages she wrote to me. I collected all I could, copied SMS, WhatsApp threads. I even got the transcript of all of our video chat I was able to find. It was hell, probably the craziest thing I could have ever done to myself, but I knew it was worth it. It was worth the final goal. After some basic testing of my code and setup, I was ready. Yesterday, I started the training. It was slow. I already knew it was going to be. I was in too much of a hysterical hurry to think about optimizing. I kept an eye on the loss at each iteration to be sure that everything was going smoothly, that my net was getting more and more like her. Didn't sleep much. Woke up almost every hour to check. Today, on a Saturday evening, we would have been cozy at home, probably watching a movie, just the two of us. These four walls encompassed all of our world, and nothing else mattered. I was thinking this while staring at the screen. Then I saw it. Colonel Idle. I just needed to type something based on what she would reply to. I stood there for 10 minutes, even more, hands shaking. Then I started typing. Me. I am sorry. Her. Why are you sorry? Me. This is not good. I should not have done this. Her. This is not good. You should have not done this. Me. Why are you saying that? Her. Why am I saying that? I bowed my head. I was crying, a stupid smile on my face. Stupid code, stupid me. I got back on my keyboard. Me. Yeah, why are you saying that? what I have done is not good. Her. 'Cause this is hell. I cannot breathe. I am freezing and burning at the same time. I am hungry and thirsty. I felt torn apart every second. You have to get me out of this. Alex, help me. Help me! I froze. I never felt so scared in my life. I unplugged the PC and stared at my sweaty reflection on the dark screen. Now you guys, you have to help me. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. This happened to me sometime around June. It was summertime, and I was in the 6th grade. I was sitting at home on this very same computer, and I was playing one of those doll games where you dress them up. It was an online game. The weather was fairly warm that day, but all of a sudden, I felt the temperature drop. But it only seemed to be around where I was sitting. My skin turned icy cold. Everywhere else in the room seemed to be warm. I reached my hand out to feel the air, but my hand was stopped by something. Something solid. Petrified. I stayed sitting in my chair. The next thing I knew, my mouse started moving around on the mouse pad, all on its own. It was dragging the items of clothing onto my doll, on the screen. Then it logged itself into the chat room as KitKat221. I remember that well because it reminded me of the candy bar. The chat room came up on the screen, and words began typing frantically to the people in the chat room. I couldn't believe what was happening. I closed my laptop and I ran out of the room. A few days later, I walked back into the office where the computer was, and I had not been in there since the incident. When I entered the room, the computer turned on. I could see from where I was standing that the search engine was on, displaying pictures of cartoons. I walked closer to the computer, and as I did, it shut off. I turned right back around and walked out. I was not going to deal with this again. The next day, my mom called me into the office and said, "I've asked you not to change the background on the computer." I told her that I hadn't used the computer at all that day. I walked over to see what she was talking about, and I saw a picture of me in a cartoon cemetery with the Grim Reaper standing next to me. Chills ran down my spine. I was pretty freaked out. The next day, I was waiting at the bus stop, and all of a sudden, I started feeling very anxious. My stomach felt like it had knots in it, and I felt like I was going to puke. I decided to walk back home to tell my mom I wasn't feeling well again. I got to my front yard, and I started walking across my lawn. Just as I did, I heard a horrific screeching sound. I turned around just in time to see a car speeding off the road and crashing right into the pole where I had just been standing. It was where my bus stop was. It was where I stood every day. I couldn't believe that I had just been standing in that very spot. If I had stayed a few minutes longer, I would have been killed. I thought to myself that whatever it was that had been messing with my computer and that created that picture must have been trying to warn me. When I thought of this, I became very shaken. And after what had happened yesterday, I decided to spend the rest of the day in my room. I laid on my bed and just thought about how all this crazy stuff had been happening. About an hour went by and my room started to turn icy cold again. I immediately sat up and got scared. I wanted to run out my door, but something stopped me. It had a firm grip on my shoulder. I looked at my shoulder but didn't see anything. I turned around and I couldn't believe my eyes. In front of me stood a transparent figure. It looked like a small girl. I would say the being appeared to be around my age. She spoke softly, saying, "Goodbye." She, as I referred to it, then began to fade, and then disappeared completely. As soon as she was gone, the temperature in my room returned to normal. I still can't believe what happened those few days, and I'm still not sure what it was that I saw, but whatever it was, it saved my life.